What if everything you ever learned about ancient Egypt was wrong? For millennia, they have stood as silent sentinels against the sands of time, colossal, enigmatic, and utterly breathtaking. The Great Pyramids of Egypt. More than just tombs, they are a testament to an ancient civilization that achieved feats of engineering we still struggle to comprehend. In this video, we journey into the heart of the desert, not just to admire these wonders, but to peel back layers of history, challenge accepted truths, and ask the questions that continue to echo through the ages. How were they built? When were they truly erected? Who were the masterminds behind their construction? And why, ultimately, did they rise? Prepare to have your perceptions of ancient Egypt forever shifted. The sheer scale of the pyramids, particularly the Great Pyramid of Giza, challenges our modern sensibilities. This monumental structure alone comprises an estimated 2.3 million precisely cut stone blocks. Many of these limestone blocks weigh between 2 and 15 tons. The granite blocks, however, used for the burial chambers and relieving stones, quarried hundreds of miles away in Aswan, can weigh up to 80 tons. Even today, with our steel, concrete, and heavy machinery, such a construction project would be an immense undertaking. How did a civilization thousands of years ago, with seemingly rudimentary tools, achieve such precision and magnitude? The most widely accepted academic theory, supported by a wealth of archaeological evidence, posits a monumental effort of human ingenuity, organization, and sheer manpower. Egyptologists propose the ingenious use of various ramp systems, possibly straight, spiraling, or internal, to move these immense stones into place. Recent discoveries, like the 2018 find of an ancient ramp system at a Hatnub alabaster quarry with steep slopes, suggest that the Egyptians were more adept at moving heavy loads on inclines than previously thought, perhaps even using a system of ropes and counterweights with wooden posts along the ramp edges. Teams of skilled workers, not slaves as commonly believed, would have meticulously cut the stone using copper chisels for softer limestone and harder dolerite pounding tools for granite. They transported the blocks on wooden sledges, likely lubricated with water or oil to reduce friction. Once at the site, various methods, potentially including levers and short wooden logs, would have been used to precisely position each block. The discovery of ancient ramps, worker villages, and detailed papyri such as the Journal of Mera from Wadi al-Jarf, which documents the daily activities of workers transporting limestone for Khufu's pyramid, seems to provide tangible proof of this highly organized system. Yet for some, these explanations, while impressive, still leave fundamental questions unanswered. They argue that the extraordinary precision, the intricate astronomical alignments, and the sheer volume of material moved, especially for the heaviest blocks, seem to defy the known techniques and tools of the early Bronze Age. This is where alternative theories step in, daring to push the boundaries of conventional archaeology and history. Prominent among these alternative thinkers is British author and researcher Graham Hancock. He, along with others, challenges the established timeline, proposing a radical idea that the pyramids and numerous other megalithic structures across the globe are not solely the product of the dynastic Egyptians, but rather the surviving remnants of a far older, highly advanced global civilization. This civilization, they suggest, was catastrophically wiped out by a series of events, including comet impacts around 12,900 years ago at the onset of the Younger Dryas period. Hancock's theory suggests that survivors of this antediluvian civilization preserved and passed on fragments of their sophisticated knowledge, including advanced construction techniques and precise astronomical understanding, to less developed cultures in the post-cataclysmic world. Could the unparalleled engineering of the pyramids be a fingerprint of this forgotten golden age, built with technologies we are still struggling to rediscover or perhaps even comprehend? He argues that mainstream archaeology's dismissal of these possibilities stems from an adherence to a rigid linear view of history. Mainstream Egyptology firmly places the construction of the Great Pyramids of Giza within the Old Kingdom, specifically the 4th dynasty, a period of remarkable innovation and centralized power roughly between 2589 and 2504 BCE. This chronological framework is built upon extensive archaeological findings, pottery, inscriptions, tomb reliefs, and the clear architectural evolution from earlier, simpler funerary monuments. However, a deeply intriguing and highly controversial theory, known as the Orion correlation theory, championed by Robert Bauval and embraced by Graham Hancock, suggests a profoundly different and much older date for the Giza pyramids. They propose that the precise alignment of the three main Giza pyramids, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, perfectly mirrors the three stars of Orion's belt, Nitak, Al-Nilam, and Mintaka. But crucially, this perfect stellar alignment, particularly the slight offset of Menkara's pyramid correlating with the dimmest star, Mintaka, only occurs at a specific celestial epoch, around 10,500 BCE. This theory hinges on the astronomical phenomenon of axial precession, the slow wobble of Earth's axis over roughly a 26,000-year cycle, which causes the apparent positions of stars in the night sky to shift over millennia. If the correlation is intentional, it implies an advanced knowledge of astronomy and a pyramid construction date thousands of years before mainstream Egyptology accepts. Furthermore, proponents of this older timeline often point to the deep erosion on the body of the Great Sphinx located near the pyramids. Geologists like Dr. Robert Schoch argue that these distinct vertical erosion patterns are consistent with prolonged heavy rainfall, not wind and sand. The last period of significant rainfall in the Sahara region ended around 8,000 to 10,000 BCE. Could the Sphinx, and by extension the entire Giza complex, be an astonishing 8,000 to 12,000 years older than officially recognized? While mainstream Egyptology strongly refutes these claims, citing the lack of supporting archaeological artifacts from such an early period, the questions remain. Is there a missing chapter in human history, and could the Giza monuments be silent witnesses to a lost age of advanced knowledge? For far too long, popular culture, often influenced by misinterpretations of historical texts and even Hollywood portrayals, has depicted the pyramids as being built by a vast army of enslaved people, toiling under brutal conditions. This enduring image, however, is a persistent and thoroughly debunked myth. Decades of meticulous archaeological discoveries, particularly the uncovering of vast, well-planned worker villages near the Giza Plateau by Dr. Mark Lerner and his team, have painted a vastly different picture. These were not slave camps, but highly organized settlements housing tens of thousands of skilled laborers, artisans, scribes, and overseers. Evidence suggests they were well fed on a diet rich in meat and grain, received sophisticated medical care for injuries sustained on the job, and were compensated for their work, often in bread, beer, and other provisions. Yet, if we allow ourselves to entertain the alternative theories of a lost advanced civilization, then the question of who built them takes on new dimensions. If such a civilization existed, perhaps the very first pyramids, or certain elements within them, were constructed directly by these elder people or by their immediate descendants. Some even venture into the realm of the truly extraordinary, positing extraterrestrial involvement or at least influence. They point to the mind-boggling precision, the alignments with celestial bodies, and the sheer scale as beyond the capabilities of Bronze Age humans, even highly organized ones. Could there have been an external, non-human intelligence that guided or even directly aided the construction? This hypothesis often arises from a perceived technological gap between what ancient Egyptians were supposedly capable of and what the pyramids demonstrably represent. The most widely accepted and archaeologically supported purpose of the pyramids is unequivocal. They were elaborate, monumental tombs for pharaohs designed to ensure their safe passage into the afterlife and their eternal deification. Ancient Egyptian religious beliefs revolved around a complex understanding of the afterlife, and the pyramids served as a physical and spiritual gateway, a cosmic launchpad for the pharaoh's soul, known as the Ba and Ka, to ascend to the heavens and join the gods, particularly the sun god Ra. The pyramid's iconic shape itself held profound symbolism. It represented the primordial mound, the Ben-Ben, from which creation first emerged in Egyptian cosmology. Its sloping sides were believed to be a giant ramp or stairway, facilitating the pharaoh's ascent. Inside, the intricate passages, burial chambers, and false chambers were designed not just for protection against tomb robbers, but to safeguard the pharaoh's body and all the necessary funerary goods for eternity. The famous pyramid texts, inscribed on the walls of later pyramids, were elaborate ritualistic spells and instructions guiding the deceased pharaoh on their perilous journey through the Duat, underworld, and towards apotheosis. But what if their purpose was far more profound, even technological, than simply being elaborate tombs? Alternative theorists propose a range of astonishing functions beyond funerary rites. Some suggest the pyramids were colossal power generators, designed to harness telluric currents, cosmic energy, or even resonant frequencies from the Earth itself. Could the Great Pyramid have been a massive machine, perhaps a resonant cavity, or even a kind of wireless energy transmission device, as theorized by some, drawing parallels to the work of Nikola Tesla? The mysteries of ancient Egypt continue to captivate and confound us. While mainstream archaeology provides compelling, evidence-based explanations for the ingenuity and organizational power of the ancient Egyptians, the alternative theories ignite our imagination, forcing us to consider possibilities that challenge our very understanding of history and human potential. Whether these colossal monuments were built by millions of devoted hands with ramps and sleds, or by the descendants of a lost civilization armed with forgotten technologies, or even with some form of external guidance, one thing remains profoundly clear. The pyramids stand as an enduring testament to the human spirit's boundless capacity for creation, belief, and mystery. They are a mirror reflecting our own curiosity, pushing us to ask more questions than we can answer. The debate continues, the questions persist, and perhaps that is the true magic of the pyramids. They compel us to keep searching, keep questioning, and keep dreaming of what's possible. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.